now we are going to talk about how to create construction, and the construction is basically the material structure of the building and the material layers and their properties. So to do that, we already created a 15 meter by 15 meter building block, where you can see different materials are in the different surfaces already there. So today, now we are going to create a material, and we are going to see that the process of creating different components, changing different components of those materials. For that, let's go to the wall section and click the external one. And if we click the construction area, we can change it in here. Also, you can change it as a block area. If you create the block or building area here, if you can change also change a material. Now if we select the material here, like the external walls, all the external walls are reference wall medium weight. Now one thing you have to remember always, that inheritance in DesignBuilder goes from top to bottom. So if you change in building one material, all the materials of that category will change to that new material. So all the external walls will be the same. So if you have a different external wall construction in any other zone or walls, you should go to that wall and change the material in there. We are going to change the building, all the building external wall in a different way, a different material. So first let's select the material. This is reference wall medium weight. So if I try to edit this material, as you can see that a new menu pops up, and here you can, if I try to insert a layer, I can't do that because it's a locked library data. So to use this database and to modify it or creating a new material, we have to create copy that material, and to click here, we can copy that. See, the name changed. Now we can change the name to reference wall lightweight. We can keep that, let's say modified, and if we double click it, you can see that here also so now if we have that construction material, now we'll edit it. So we can change the name here also, and then we can see that there are 4 layers in this material. Let's just make a material with two layers, and see, now it reduced to 2 layers. You can make a material with 5-6 layers depending on your choice. Let's make a 2 layer where we will have a brickwork outer layer, and we'll change the inside layer with just mortar plaster. So to do that, we can go for there are different types of material here. You can just go and if we click the cement mortar, plaster mortar cement, see, now it changed, and you can change the thickness also here. And if we do that and we say OK, now all the materials in building 1 change to reference wall medium weight modified. So if you click on any wall, you'll see that all of them are changed to the modified version. This is how you can create a new material. Now if you have a material like that, construction like that, you may want to see that what is the Now if you want to see the output of that, you can see a visual representation of that. To create to see that, you can go to the material and click edit material, and the surface properties you changed here, the layers and everything, you can see the output in here. So it gives you the brickwork and the cement mortar layer, and also you can input the cost calculation in here, and you can see the other values what you have put and the calculation in there. Now when you created a construction like that, and you don't want to actually put the same construction material in every external wall, then you should go to the specific external wall which you want to change, and you can click there, and you can change that to anything some other than that. Let's say that you have another external where you have a reference wall lightweight. So if you change that, then that single wall will be changed, but not the other walls, because the other walls will have a different material. So this is one thing you should always remember, that the inheritance goes from top to bottom. So in any case you have defined construction, you should select that surface and change the construction method. Now if you want to work with people in if you want to work with different internal gains like people, equipment, or lighting, then we have to go back to the layout, and this time we need to work with activity level. Now whenever there are people in an area, you can see that the internal gain depends on different factors. As we know that it depends on the metabolism, what are the things that people are doing, activities, and whatever clothes they are wearing. It also depends on the schedule of their work, and also the equipments and lighting. Now to work with the internal gains, we have to first we'll discuss about people. So in case of people in activity, as you can see that we have occupancy level. Now it's people per square meter of area, and you also have a feature called schedule. Now in a term of people, how many people are going to be present in the area or in the building or in the room actually determines what would be the internal gain or energy gain of that space. So if you can go and select that schedule, the schedule is, as you can see, all the different types of schedules are there, like in office. You can just click just general, office, car park, education. Different types of functions are there. The one we have here is office space, open office space, where you have occupancy, and also you can have food preparation occupancy, or fitness gym office, and this type of different zones of the office is here with scheduled. And if we click here, we can see that different components of the schedule here. Now you can see that it's a compact schedule. Compact schedule means that it comprises all the schedule of the whole year. And here you can see the summer design days, where it's a fractional component. As you can see, fractional means that it can be 0.1, 0.0. It will be between 0 and 1, and it means when it's 0, there is no occupancy, there is no people on that floor or a room, and when it's 1, the maximum number of people are in that space. Now as you can see that here it has weekdays and you have weekends. In weekdays, which time to which time. In compact schedule, you can see that the weekdays and weekends are measured here. All is mentioned here. Also, you can see the summer design days and winter design days are there. In case of weekends, weekdays, the summer design days, as you can see, that only mentions the fractions, but in case of winter days and days, there is 0, because the number of people present in the space influences the heat gain in the summer design days, and in the winter design days it doesn't create the same worsening effect. So in case of also weekends, it's 0 because there will be no one in the area of the building, and also assuming that in holidays there will be no one in the building. So this is how you create a schedule. But to create a schedule which you can apply, you can also edit the schedule in a way like you can make it in 7-12 schedule, which basically means that you have the 7 days of the week and you have the 12 months. And here you can click one, and as you can see that it is divided in all the layers of like 8 to 18 or 7 to 18, the time limits, and you can change the properties of that. So if you can select one, you can see that you can change the percentage of people in there, like 100%, meaning that all the people assumed to be in that space are there, and 0 means actually there is no one there. So you can change the number in here with graphs also, graphs and charts, and you can put that in the schedule of there in DesignBuilder. But the problem is it's also locked library data. You have to go and select it and create a copy, and then you can edit it and save it as a new data. This is the schedule level we are talking about, and now we can see the activity level in Metabolism. In activity level, you can click the type of activity in the office is going on, like it can be reading seated, typing, walking about, writing, and you can see in the data panel we can see a different activity, and the parameters are there. And you can also change it in the same way by creating a copy, and you can change the parameters of that. Also, there is a factor in there. The factor is basically means in case of 1 means it the men, 8.85 means women, and 0.75 means the children factor. So if the space has both men and women, it will be the average of men and women, so it's average between 1 and 0.85. In case of human activities, these are the factors you can put in there. The density of density, people per meter square, you can also change that in if you go to edit and modal option. In modal option, gains data, you can see that there is a occupancy method. Here it is set as people per area. You can also change it to area per person. So in some cases of guidance in building code, you can find that there are area requirement per person. You can enter the data in the DesignBuilder like that way, area per person. Now if we want to analyze the lighting of the building, now we need to put the lighting data in that building model. So as you can see in the top area of the components, building components, lighting is there. Now in case of lighting, we can see that a normalized power density is there, where in this density you can get it from CPC or actually the guides, where building guides, where the service guides can say mention you what is the minimum or maximum level of lighting you have to ensure. And the schedule is also there, the office open schedule. Now then the schedule parameters are the same as the previously mentioned activity level, but if you want to create a new one, you have to copy that and edit that. In case of the schedule, you can see that it's also a fraction, which means that either all the lightings are on or and there is no lighting, and until 7 in the morning and the weekdays it's on, it's 0, but after that up to 7 in the evening it's on, and after that it's again off. In weekends and holidays it's totally off. And the options you can see here also can be edited at the same way, like 7 12 7 days and the 12 months. And if you just click on one of the datas, you can then again go in those datas and create the bar chart and edit the bar chart, and you can make your own schedule. In case of the normalized data, normalized power density, you can either choose watt per meter square 100 lux, or you can change that parameter into watt per meter square. To do that, you have to go to the edit and model option. In here you can see that in gain data, the third option is lighting gain unit. You can change it to watt per meter square, and there are 3 parameters here. You can see lumped, hourly, detailed. In case of lumped means that all the occupancy light computer and the internal gains are lumped in a single value, so the timing schedule will be the single value. In our case, we are trying to make it more detailed or early, where you have the internal gains are separated into various categories, and you can also see that you can change the occupancy latent gains here also. So after you do that, if you just click OK, and that will update the total area, and as you can see that now it's 15 watt per meter square, and you can change that also from the standard guides of CIPC or ASHRAE.